Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 220th episode of the Voluntary Viewing podcast, recorded on April 10th, 2023. Andrew, what would you put on a domestic beer can to piss off conservatives?
Post-gay Bud Light.
Post-gay? Yes.
It just
I know,
tastes different.
Yeah, pre-gay Bud Light definitely implies the existence of post-gay Bud Light, and I think that we need to just be open about it. Look, I don't like Bud Light because I think it tastes bad.
Agreed.
Definitely some... I'm hesitant to be like, wow, look at Bud Light, so progressive, because they did just partner with an influencer. It's cool that they chose a trans influencer.
They knew
that they'd probably
happen.
get some backlash. And I think that it's cool that they did that, and it's maybe becoming more of a normal thing. But just the heinous backlash of I don't know what to do with myself now because Bud Light is my identity, but the other part of my identity is hating trans people, and those two things don't mesh anymore. It used to be you could hate trans people and drink Bud Light. Mm-hmm. Now what do I do with myself? Guess I'll go kill myself.
If only it was that easy.
Wait, hold on. This article is saying they brought back the cans, implying that they had been around before. No, they did this in...
What do you mean brought back the
okay.
cans?
They did a more generic rainbow can in 2022.
Gay rights and trans rights are not seen as on equal levels of radical or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, especially since there are still tons of gay people that also hate trans people.
Right. Like if you look at like Gallup polls, the US basically dropped gay rights as an issue. There's still like an extreme, 30% of the population maybe that is against like gay marriage, but the vast majority of the US public supports literal gay marriage, not even like supports
allowing gay people to exist.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas like trans people, it's a good 35-40% of the country genuinely thinks they need to be like eliminated.
Yeah, it's not just
taken off the world.
It's not like, oh sure, these are people, but they don't deserve equal rights. They're not people.
Yeah,
that's what these people believe about trans people, and it's bad.
Yeah, no, like a rainbow can is not gonna draw the same level of outrage. You'll get the whole like, wow, I can't believe Bud Light went woke, and then they'll just drink the normal can, but that's not the same because it has been so radically politicized. Which originally that was gay marriage, like that right. was a wedge issue, like that was literally dreamed up in a think tank, similar to the Southern Strategy, to divide like the religious right and create kind of a new Republican voting bloc. That's what they're doing again with trans issues, except for trans people like are such a smaller minority of the population than gay people. Like at the end of the day, people who identify as any sexual minority, like studies will say 3 to 5%, but let's be honest, it's probably more like 10%. Like
right.
Trans people, you're starting to talk about decimals of a percent. This is not a very common thing. And so the hatred is so much more fucking distilled. Like the Tennessee law that's getting all the crazy coverage literally affects 3 high school athletes. There are 3 trans athletes competing in high school sports in the state of Tennessee, and they are creating a law to bar those 3 fucking athletes. Like is.
But it's like you said, it's a manufactured issue because, I mean, like it might affect such a small portion of the population, but like you talk to conservatives and they think that this is something that is like overtaking the nation.
Yeah.
Like they talk about how like you blink and all your kids are going to be trans, like they're going to be transified. Like they think it's a thing that's being done to people and that it's everywhere. You wouldn't know that it's such a small part of the population because they think that, for one thing, they think that all Democrats are trans. But like also they think that this is like an epidemic that's going to take over the world because that's what they're told. And they're dumb and will believe anything.
It really lays bare how a lot of conservative Republican ideology today is just kind of steeped in hatred, and how they will abandon things they otherwise believe in just to further harm like marginalized groups of people. I forget which state it's in, but it's like, yeah, no, we just passed a law that like child's genitals can be inspected to make sure they're competing in quote unquote the right category of sport. And like, I thought you guys were supposed to be like the personal freedoms, like privacy ones. Like, what is going on? It's
the classic. Well, all these people that we're saying we don't like are pedophiles. Actually, if you disagree with us, you're supporting pedophiles. Also, let me look at your kid's dick.
Yeah. No, exactly. I mean, it's something. I mean, imagine being told, hey, if you teach your kids that this identity exists, that will allow them to like maybe realize something about themselves and like live their life as that thing. It's like, oh, so wait, does that mean that this thing is being repressed and is way more common than we might think, and is just basically being tamped down by these arbitrary societal norms? Like,
it's part of that like train of thought that, you know, you'll hear conservatives talk about how like it's so much more common to not be, you know, heteronormative in your sexuality anymore. Like it's so much more common. It's like
wonder why.
It's because they were fucking murdered before,
right.
Or like at least were afraid to like have it be an open thing because they didn't want to die, or at the very least lose all their family connections.
Right.
And like now it's a little bit more accepted than it was before. So they go, okay, you know what? I'm ready to be who I'm actually supposed to be.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's those people existed before. You just didn't know about it.
Kinsey was doing research on this sliding scale fucking 60 years ago. How long ago was it? Like, yeah, in reality, a lot of people are going to have some bisexual tendencies. And it was very easy to just be like, well, I guess I'll just ignore that part of myself because I might literally die for it. So I'll just live my life as a straight person, because why not? Like, I have the capability of doing that. It's not great, doesn't lead to a very fulfilling life, but yeah, when you consider the alternatives.
Wild to think about what life would be like if the Reagan administration hadn't successfully branded AIDS as the gay epidemic and just kind of ignored all of those deaths. And
also the medical community. Like,
and the medical,
AIDS was called GRID, like gay-related immunodisease. Like that's what they called it first.
God, that's so much more hardcore than AIDS, you know?
Yeah, GRID, they could have reworked it so that it wasn't gay-related immunodisease. Like, it could have been like, I don't know, something else that also was GRID, because GRID's fucking hard, man.
Yeah.
That's scary. That's a scary disease right there.
I mean, I know we got like AIDS pretty well locked down. I want to take more action against GRID. Like, that is terrifying.
Yeah, I agree.
Also on the podcast today, we have Ryan Holtz. Ryan, it is the day after Easter. If you were Jesus, how would you have done it differently?
I would have murked all those fools.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, this dude walks on water. This dude, what do they call that? Transfiguration. This dude creates matter. Like, you could create a terminal brain tumor in every Roman guard, like for miles.
Dude, maybe he did, and they just didn't want to put that shit in the books. They did.
Pontius Pilate, as he goes to wash his hands, you turn the water to acid, and
his hands
and it becomes bones. Yeah, like as he insert. I don't know, man. Like, you could have really fucked some shit up. Someone needs to make that movie. I'm sorry,
Warrior
God
God
that'd be
Jesus,
epic. Like,
I
don't know. I would have been way more metal with it if I had those powers. Because let's be honest, like in reality, you're just a human prophet guy who, like, has been preaching a risky religion for a couple decades, and now it's caught up to you, and you're getting crucified for it. It's so what would I do if I was human historical figure Jesus of Nazareth? Fucking kill myself? Kill myself before I get tortured to death? and spawn this thing that has kind of become problematic in 2,000 years.
I mean, valid, but also like I think without the crucifixion, you don't get the iconography, you know?
Yeah, no, I think that's again, I'm assuming I'm Ryan Holtz in the body, and I would know, oh wow, in over 2,000 years, this will be the reason that this one guy's grandparents are completely estranged from the rest of the family. You know,
I
stuff happens. I
So
wouldn't
you
want
would-
that.
you would just suppress. You wouldn't, I don't know, let's say 48 hours is Jesus. You wouldn't try to reclaim it at all. You wouldn't be like and then Jesus got really cool with the queer community. Pointedly. Make sure there's a whole chapter in the Bible about that.
I'm not writing the book. Like it's a bunch
Oh.
of random dudes after I die writing the book. I don't know, man. I don't think they're gonna listen to any of that. And then right before, yeah, it's like Paul and John, and they're like, "All right, so I'm writing the gospel. Let's just like bounce some notes off each other. Like, what do you think? Like, oh, do we talk about the part where he talked about how like homosexuals are cool, or like we just kind of? I mean,
Kind of assumed. We don't got to put that in there.
It's like towards the end. Like, I don't think that really, it's not really relevant. You know, it's fine. I'll just pretend.
kind of takes away from the flow, you know?
Yeah, no. Like I'm on board. Like, oh, you know me, big follower of Christ. Like, you know, I'm on board with everything. But like, you know, we're a small religion and we got to appeal to the broadest demographic possible. We don't want to limit ourselves, right? Like, we'll reclaim it from the inside, you know, like, and then they all get fucking murdered. And executed, and can't like bring it on in the
like
later
right
stages.
Right before they're about to be hung, like wait.
No, wait,
Remember
gay
to put
people
in
are cool.
the gays are.
Yeah, exactly. And then a pope is like, the gays I don't like, and kills a bunch of people.
Bibbidi bob.
Yeah, bibbidi bob spaghetti. It's not great.
Last but not least, I am Lucas the writer, and if I were the Romans, I think, I don't know, a lot of things I would have done differently in the execution of Jesus Christ. Like, I think he gets 2 falls, actually, you know? Carrying the cross, like, you fall once, yeah, whatever, fine, that's a part of it. Like, yeah, come on, we're supposed to humiliate him here. Second time, though, this is taking a while. Come on, people want to get home to their kids. Let's... enough of that.
How many falls did Barabbas, the other two fuckers, the one who went to heaven and the one who didn't, like, how many falls do you think they had in their
what if they didn't have to carry it?
Yeah.
No. What if they had no idea what was about to happen?
Oh yeah, we're just going on a sightseeing tour.
Man, this hill is really pretty.
Yeah, this prison release program. You Romans are so progressive. Like, you really make sure to take care of our mental health, you know?
Wait,
like,
wait. What are those nails for?
Yeah, what? Oh wow, this sponge full of vinegar? It doesn't taste very good, man. I don't know about this.
That's another thing I would have done differently. I wouldn't have tacked on the execution of 2 other criminals to Jesus Christ's execution after making a whole thing out of Jesus's murder. You know? It feels like I'm undercutting it a little bit.
I think that was all part of the game. He's not a big deal. He's just a dude. Which, again, yeah, that's the real reason why. Because he was just another heretical prophet that was in the region at the time. He wasn't a big deal until... He was much like Vincent van Gogh. He wasn't appreciated in his time. He was underground, and then he went crazy and hung out with this sex worker.
Yeah.
And that was just a bridge too far, man. That was the end of that.
And then if I am a magical version of a Roman, I'm getting Zeus to like hang out outside the cave, outside the tomb for a while after, you know?
Yeah. Smite some motherfuckers.
Just smite some motherfuckers. Maybe Jesus does come back. I'm pretty sure he was pretty vocal about like I'll be back. Don't worry about it. And then boom, Zeus right there waiting for you. What are you gonna do, Jesus?
Jesus versus Zeus.
Yeah.
Fight. Yeah. No, we get to see the rumble for the ages.
Mm-hmm.
The oh god, I'm trying to think of a thing that rhymes with tomb, but doesn't work very well.
The Tomb of Doom.
Yeah, doom in the tomb. Jesus, Zeus, two enter, one leaves. Jesus has lightning powers, right? Isn't that, I think at some point in the Bible?
I think he has like magic fire. That's basically lightning. It's like, it's
Yeah.
not lightning. Lightning is a
Totally
natural
not lightning.
occurrence. This is the
Yeah.
fire of God. It just looks a lot like lightning.
Yeah, no, lightning's like that's just the one. That's just the big man.
He's got the Kamehameha.
yeah, Jesus can't do that shit. Jesus just makes fish into more fish. Jesus just makes fish into more fish, walks on water that one time, and brings people back from the dead and conquers death itself.
So can Jesus turn anything into anything? Like, because he can turn water into wine, and he made more fish. He made one fish,
more
two
bread.
fish, red fish,
more
blue
bread
fish.
too, man. He can control bread and fish.
Bread and
God
fish.
damn.
But like, can he do that with anything? Could he have made that fish something else? Or does he literally just have the power to spawn fish?
Or he makes the fish blood into wine. He can only turn liquid into wine if you blended up all those fish in a Vitamix. He could turn that to wine, but he couldn't turn fish into steak.
But there would still be fish chunks in there.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, I mean
the solid parts of the fish are still there.
The bones are still fish bones, but hey, it's like vintage too. Like Jesus isn't creating cheap wine. He's like out there,
that man don't
some
make
aged
Franzia.
shit. Yeah, no, exactly.
Okay, shout out to I'm being a shill here. The Unnatural World Fandom Wiki, which according to their main page, this is a wiki for everything unnatural, whether it's vampires, supernatural powers, or even an afterlife dimension. You can read it here.
Afterlife dimension is not a way I've heard it phrased before.
And according to their page on Jesus Christ, his powers are omnipotence, a divine energy manipulation.
Wait, omnipotence?
Yeah, wait, I thought Jesus wasn't omnipotent.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
He
takes human form.
The other 2/3 of the Holy Trinity were omnipotent.
Ghost dude, omnipotent as fuck, like for sure.
Oh my god, this gets better. Divine resurrection, exorcism.
Does he in the Bible actually exorcise someone?
I don't know if he I mean, he gets rid of the devil in the desert, right? He fucks the devil up and makes him go away. So, like, that's technically an exorcism, right?
I would count that. And if they don't, just in case, they also have under that in a subheading, banishment. Banish anything evil.
That definitely, that's OG. Isn't there like a pig and shit? A demon pig? And he's like, this is a demon pig. Get out of here, demon.
Dark magic nullification, salvation, save those who need saving.
Okay.
Internal rest inducement.
What? What is that even?
Give true eternal rest, free from all conflicts.
Oh,
death?
Eternal, not internal.
Yeah, that was internal.
So creating peace on earth.
Forgiveness.
And that's a superpower?
Yeah. Wait, I have a superpower.
Wait. They mean like expunging sins, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, but isn't that eternal salvation? Yes, salvation or whatever? I don't know.
No, they're kind of double dipping here.
Okay, keep going. I know there's more.
Followed immediately by that is something just called God mode.
Okay. Going God mode.
Yo, I'm about to go God mode.
Yeah.
Good sense, evil sense, can sense good and evil.
What? Again, I think I have this superpower. Like, I think I can.
They had omnipotence in there. Like, he's got a good sense of smell too.
Judgment manipulation, can make people tell the truth or confess their sins.
Okay. Again, there's humans with this superpower.
He's got the superpower of sodium pentatol.
Yeah.
Living conduit, Jesus Christ is an essential host for the one holy true deity.
Don't even... Okay. He is the one holy true deity. I don't know that they fully... Okay. Still missing all the transfiguration stuff.
Magnetic friendship, may can be true and understanding friend to anyone.
He's just a friendly guy.
Yeah, he's just bubbly, you know? He's just really just
He's the
you
life of
just
the
want to
party.
have you want to have a beer with him, you know?
All right, this is getting really in the weeds.
They don't mention anything about the making more
Well,
matter.
Yeah.
They give Jesus shape-shifting and transmutation.
Transmutation is
Yeah.
right. Shape-shifting though, like he shapeshifts?
I don't think Jesus has Ant-Man powers. No.
He like ascends as like a ghost dude, right? He's like a ghost man. So I guess he can become a ghost man.
What's the end of the Bible called where it's like the apocalypse?
Revelations.
Revelations, yeah.
What's the season finale of the Bible?
Yeah, what's the last season of the Bible? Yeah. Isn't he like different? And like again, like this is just what they're projecting, because you know the rest of the Bible they're like, this is what happened, but like in this one they're like, and this is gonna happen, and it's gonna be sick. Like, isn't he like totally different?
I missed the chance to make the joke earlier, but yeah, no. Luke and Paul were definitely in the desert with Jesus, tripping on peyote, and wrote all of Revelations, and just stuck it in there. That's a keeper.
Wasn't Revelations? Who wrote Revelations?
John Patmos.
Who's that?
Like somebody who was exiled. I think a Greek philosopher who was exiled.
Authorship. Okay.
John the Elder.
Yeah, the author names himself as John. Modern scholars considered unlikely that the author also wrote the Gospel of John. He was a Jewish Christian prophet, probably belonging to a group of those prophets, commonly dated to AD 95. Okay. Because it makes references to Nero, and there's things in the visions pointing to the reign of Domitian. There you go. So just a dude.
Yeah.
Some dude. It's like, hey, man. And then there's 7 horses. It's crazy.
Oh, they also give Jesus carpentry as one of his powers.
Hey, that's a legit superpower right there, man.
That shit's hard.
$20 an hour in rural Wisconsin, I heard. The ability to support a family on a single income.
Not anymore.
In rural Wisconsin.
Rural
Wisconsin.
Okay.
$20 an hour.
You're probably getting overtime.
You're paying off that house reasonably quickly.
Yeah, no, when you can get $150,000 fixer-upper in the middle of the woods, yeah, man, you can do it.
And you have the skills to fix it up. You'll totally get around to it.
One day.
For shits and giggles, I looked up the real estate in the town where Lucas and I grew up in, and the cheapest house for sale is $350,000.
All right. Well, hey, let's look up the town I'm from.
No lie.
Your guys' town was closer to like other towns, I feel like.
Yeah, but it's still a piece of shit.
It's still a piece of shit.
Andrew, I'm on Zillow right now, and I found a house for sale in our hometown for $160,000.
Is it a house, and is it also still for sale? I'm talking about the ones that are not pending.
Active offer. Zestimate 1,570 or 157,000. Sorry.
Okay,
yeah, that means it's already off the market.
Well,
I got
it
houses.
says active offer.
Active offer, I think, means that it has an offer in place.
I understand now.
There's a fuck ton of lots.
Yeah.
It's definitely a bunch of lots for sale for a lot less. Dude, there's this fucking crazy ass house on Main Street. $190K, 3-bed, 1-bath.
Where is this?
In my
Asking
hometown.
for a friend?
Reedsburg, Wisconsin. West Main, dude. I think I've driven by this house, I'm sure. That's literally in the middle of town. That's not even in the country. $190K. Probably a shithole. That's okay.
Oh, is it this one that looks like...
Yeah, it's yellow.
Yeah.
It kind of looks Victorian. It's got a weird little spiky thing. Yeah.
We got some of those in shitty Berlin.
Yeah. Apparently not for 190K though.
Oh yeah, no, this
Estimated
house
mortgage
sucks.
1347 a month, dude. Yeah, there's an American flag in the window of one of the bedrooms. Why not?
Boy, rural Wisconsin, a lot of 3 beds, 1 bath situations. I don't
Yeah, there are a lot of houses that just have one bath.
turn one of those bedrooms into a bathroom is what I'm saying.
I don't know, man.
Hmm.
Full basement. Contact Dan Bartz. Prices dropped. It originally was listed for 250K. They're getting desperate, man. It dropped
Yikes.
60K off of asking in the last 9 months. Look
That's a
out.
lot.
Originally sold, it was last sold for 59K
When?
in 2019. I don't know, man.
Oh,
Sold for 59K in 2019. Before that, it was sold for 80K in 2018. Seems like some shit's gone down.
yeah.
3-bed, 2-bath for 150K on Main Street, Reedsburg, Wisconsin. What I say, 150K, baby.
Get in
You can
there,
do it.
Andrew.
Andrew,
No.
Reedsburg's not the worst small town in the world. That's all I'll say. I
Okay.
wouldn't say it's a good place to live or even a place you'd want to
Decent.
live. Yeah. Not
mean-
the worst. No AC, it sounds like, in this 150K house, but you know.
I mean, Andrew, if you want to make your money work for you, there are a lot of empty lots in Wisconsin you can buy for.
If I hear "make your money work for me for you," I might go ballistic.
Yeah, what's a lot in a desirable area?
Ooh,
Oh, here's a lot
this
for 35K.
this house is in a shitty part of Madison, and it's 225,000 and smaller than our apartment, 600 square feet.
What's the mortgage though? That's 250,000. You're what? You're looking at like
1,500.
Yeah, it's cheaper than my rent.
Yeah, what is the rule for down payment again? Like what percentage of the
20%.
Usually 20,
Oh.
but
It's
I mean,
not like
just
it's not a hard rule.
as
It's
much as you can afford.
Yeah.
Right.
As much as you can possibly put down.
Well, like in Los Angeles, it is for most people. Well, okay, most people can't buy a house in Los Angeles, but for the ones who can, scraping and scrounging, they're just barely hitting that down payment, and then
There's a new California first-time homebuyer assistant program that's apparently pretty fucking metal, like
ooh,
in terms of actually helping people.
ah,
So there's that with really high caps. Like the cap was like 150K gross income, and that's not even like per household. It's like for you as a human. It's like Jesus, that is a hell of a cap.
love that.
But
anyway.
I don't know.
What are we doing? Have we finished the intro yet?
No, I think yeah, that's it, right? We can
I
see
don't know
next
if
week.
Lucas introduced himself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I said what I would do differently if I were the Romans and Jesus
Oh,
Christ,
yeah.
and like I was killing Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Be less of a show off for one thing, and two, like, come on, man, quit hamming it up out there. You know, like you get one fall. No, we're not letting your mom like wipe you off. Like what? No, come on, get out of here. Nah,
Maybe put a couple more guards around the tomb.
yeah, maybe don't even do it to. Maybe just burn them. You
At
know?
that point, the guards are gonna die, right? Like Jesus was all forgiving and shit before he died. After he died, I don't think he made any promises, right? Like he'll murk you, like he'll
Yeah.
just kind of snap his fingers and your brain will shut off.
No, all bets are
Dying
off.
tends to make people pissed off.
Yeah, it would piss me off, I guess. Maybe.
It's Game of Thrones rules. A part of him didn't come back.
Mm.
Oh.
All of a sudden, Jesus became a huge bitch and was just like, I don't want to. I don't want to be God's son anymore. I'm just here now.
Just want to have sex with my aunt and chill.
Yeah.
Don't bring me back if I fall again. Fucking Jon Snow. Can't believe they're doing another show with him.
Christ.
Are they still? I haven't heard anything about it since it apparently got greenlit.
That's how it works. And then one day there's a teaser trailer and it's gonna be fucking Ghost and the sword, and it's gonna be like coming soon. You're gonna be like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because that character definitely didn't run out of interesting things to explore, like by season 5.
I mean, he was never interesting though. I mean, like he was a good character, but like it's like he's a fucking paladin. He's boring as shit. He's just like, I just want to protect the realm and do what's right always. I have no depth whatsoever.
His storyline was the interesting thing.
Yeah,
like he was
yeah,
our POV into Beyond the Wall and everything like that. That was really important and necessary. And I would argue it was better for him to not have like interesting. I didn't want him to be like some goofball who's like, lols, like, oh, does anyone else wildlings? Like, just that would be dumb. Like, yeah, it wouldn't fit. But yeah, that's like when you write books, that's how you write them sometimes. Like, not every character is a fascinating, charismatic, whatever. Like, sometimes they are kind of blank so that we can properly understand, the dynamics of this one region. And so then, reason number 5 million that George R. Martin is never going to finish the book series, because at some point he's going to have to join the other characters and have something to say and have a point of view that is actually interesting when he is no longer in this fascinating fantasy world way up north and he's in the politics of everything where you kind of need to be more charismatic and have a point.
He's still dead. He's still dead in the books. He can come back a little wackadoo.
Yeah, that's how George R. Martin writes out of it.
Yeah.
And then he just takes Tyrion's dialogue and replaces it with Jon's dialogue.
John came back very flamboyant.
Yeah, wow. John's pretty funny, huh? He makes jokes. Yeah.
Andrew, thank you for saying the word paladin earlier, because we're jumping right to the group chat, the most interesting part of this document, I think. We all watched Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves.
Yeah.
And I think we all had a good time with it. Is that fair?
Yeah, it was a good time.
I liked it a lot. Good movie. I like the nods. I don't know about you guys, but that was like my biggest takeaway probably was the final fight with the Red Witch. How it was very clear that you could see like the turn by turn aspect of the fight. Like you could see she makes a move and then like each of them kind of individually in rapid fire make their move, and like it was cool to watch cinematically, and also knowing like that they're doing a nod to like Dungeons and Dragons combat, and how when you're playing or watching people play Dungeons and Dragons, you kind of forget that this is happening in real time in combat. Like when you say, and then I try to stab them with my rapier, and you roll, and that is happening instantaneously. Like, and then the next move happens instantaneously.
Yeah, because I think it's a full like round of combat where everyone does a turn is like 6 seconds.
Something like that. It depends on the size of the party and everything.
Yeah. And I like, how they like hammed up the backstory. So like just clearly some asshole making their own OC. Like, and this tragic thing happened to them and it weakened them or made them stronger in another way.
And your perspective might change.
Yeah. And then again with the paladin guy, just like a total fucking annoying,
the most boring,
who's also perfect. And
So, like, why? A question I have about this universe. This isn't a genuine dig at the movie. This is a dig at the concepts of Dungeons and Dragons. Why would anyone be a Harper when it seems like Paladins are 90% the same deal, except they get way cooler shit?
There's definitely classes that people like. There's house rules.
Yeah.
Like if a DM, like, I just don't like that class, I think that they're boring and stupid, they will like not allow you to play that class.
Yeah. Or say like, you can do this, but we're changing these couple of things.
And like that's kind of interesting from a game design perspective. Like, oh yeah, we're going to make paladins kind of overpowered, but you have to play as a lawful good piece of shit in
totally
this campaign.
Boring.
That's fun. The negative. That's how we balance that.
Yeah.
Oh, to me, Zank, what was it, Zank Yendar or whatever, the paladin guy, to me more screamed like the NPC that the dungeon master brought in to help them out because
Right.
they were struggling
Mm-hmm.
and then had to fuck off because he wasn't part of the actual story.
Yeah. And you would break the game.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, like there's some classes that a lot of dungeon masters, when they get a chance to play as a player, like intentionally break. Like I know Brennan Lee Mulligan has created a character that did, I don't even remember, it was something, it was like 1,200 points of damage in one turn because he broke it. Like he was like, oh, if I do this and take this multiplier and this class trait and this multiplier, I do. And then he just breaks out like a jar full of dice, and it's just like, here we go.
If I
Add
stuff
'em
my
up.
robe full of carnivorous cabbages and put on the gloves that multiply damage by carnivorous cabbages,
Yeah,
I'm unbeatable. I'm the cabbage
It's-
king.
it can be fun, but also I don't know if you're boring. Like if you're not wanting to be interesting and like fun to listen to, and I don't know. I feel like the best part of Dungeons and Dragons is not the combat. Like it's the in between.
It's
Yeah.
the choices. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the telling the story. It's the improv of it all. If you've got a fun group. So, yeah.
I enjoyed in the arena that like the other adventurers were dressed as more like traditional Dungeons and Dragons characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just plain Jane shit.
Yeah, but also really colorful in a way that like, maybe I can make a criticism about like the costuming of this movie, but yeah, whatever. It's fine. I just found that weird that it's like, oh, I vaguely remember a Dungeons and Dragons cartoon that had characters dressed like this from childhood. So, all right, cool.
Yeah.
The Nat 1 stuff felt
Yeah.
pretty fun and actually organic. I thought it'd be a little more, I don't know, like in Fantasy High a lot when characters roll in that one, like things can come to a screeching halt in a way that
Right.
is great for that medium, but might not translate into a movie. But in the movie, it was like, yeah, no, he's running over a table covered with gold and other treasure. Dexterity check. Nat 1. Oh, you slip.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Sometime.
Bradley Cooper popping up out of nowhere, like
That's
got me to
Yeah.
audibly gasp and laugh in the theater. It
Yeah.
was like,
Just
oh,
a
what the
soft
fuck?
boy
There's
halfling.
2-foot tall Bradley Cooper.
That came out of nowhere. Yeah, wow, he's the perfect person. He's like he's completely self-actualized and would make an unbelievable partner.
Yeah.
Ah,
He's like, yeah, just
yikes.
very honest with her and like,
Right.
yeah, I wish you the best. This didn't work. I tried really hard and
No resentment whatsoever for the fact that it failed completely as a result of his partner. Just genuine love and care. And you know what? It didn't work out, but there's nothing wrong with that. You're not a bad person because of that.
I felt like they cheated a little bit with the hither tither staff. Like if I were a DM, I'd be like, no, like the rule, you have to like be able to maintain eye contact within 500 yards like that.
like, man, they did Portal in Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, dude.
I liked it.
All right. Those were
Imagine
some
all
pretty
the
interesting shots.
possibilities.
That was a pretty interesting sequence. Like the portal on the bottom of the carriage.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that did lead for some fun.
Yeah. What else do I have about the movie? I guess it's kind of weird that like ostensibly a bigger budget action adventure movie released in, if not the early spring, like the winter, when I'm used to stuff like this coming out in the summer. And I wonder now, is this just how it works? Do like action adventure movies get out of the way for whatever Marvel DC stuff is inevitably going to land in the summer?
I think they kind of release all year long, don't they? They're pretty. They can draw in crowds most of the time, right?
Are you saying action adventure movies or
Yeah.
Marvel DC movie?
Action adventure.
I don't know. This felt more like a summer blockbuster to me, and I was surprised it did not release in the summer. And I do wonder if it's that, or I wonder if people in executive roles or whatever the movie equivalent of scheduling is decided that Dungeons and Dragons still doesn't have enough brand power to get butts in seats against more like type competition.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was just they didn't see anything else in that kind of category coming out around this time and thought, oh, it's the perfect time. We don't have any competition.
No, fair.
It is not making its money back yet. We'll
Oh,
see if it can do that. It was a hell of a budget, $150 million budget. So, yeah.
I heard he was doing pretty well.
It's doing pretty well, but like right now it's at 124 million.
Yeah.
And this last weekend it pulled in like 15 million. So in reality, it's going to be looking at maybe 200 million throughout its entire run. And that's not good enough to make your budget back.
In fairness, it did release at like outside of a year, outside of in a weird time where Dungeons and Dragons stock has maybe never been lower. I remember, like, I know it's like ubiquitously popular now, but yeah, when that movie came out, like the common conversation around Dungeons and Dragons was, oh, they're changing the licensing stuff to be terrible to creators. Hold on, we don't want to support this.
Everyone wanted to go to the movie, though, I feel.
Yeah.
I definitely, I don't think that it prevented many diehards from seeing the movie. It's not like Wizards of the Coast made it, you know?
That's fair. Actually, I don't know if I remember seeing Wizards of the Coast anywhere. I saw Hasbro's name a lot.
Yeah,
They must have the rights to the movie or something.
Huh.
If I remember correctly, reading about it, this movie was in development hell for like a really long time because of like numerous lawsuits over who actually had the rights to make it.
Weird.
And like a bunch of different writers and directors like came on and dropped off before they finally made this version.
Huh. I wouldn't have guessed that from the production, but all right. Let's see. Stray thoughts. Special effects, really good. Boy, that was an owl bear. All right.
Yeah,
there
you
might
were
as
like
well
excited
that
for the
owl
owl
bear.
bear.
Just fucking shaking baby syndrome.
Yeah, you got a full owl bear.
I don't know what the name of that weird jaguar thing is. But I've seen that in I don't know how many games that vaguely take place in a fantasy setting. So that was cool to get like
legit. I'd never seen that shit before.
Really?
What was that?
Google, come on, jaguar thing in Dungeons and Dragons
with like Venus flytrap limbs.
Okay, no, jaguar, not maybe puma.
I think those are the same thing.
They're all the menacing monsters in Dungeons and Dragons Among Thieves.
It's a displacer beast.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and it has an extra set of paws originally?
Yeah. Also known as a Dirlagron or an Omlarcat.
Oh, yeah, that was another stray thought I had. Existing in the Dungeons and Dragons universe seems exhausting.
There's a lot going on. A lot of rules.
You know? Just like, yeah, like a lot of languages to keep in mind, for one thing. Everyone has to be multilingual, otherwise you can't survive. Plenty of monsters to remember because they're just always around and you have to keep their weaknesses in mind. And, boy, yeah, there's always a MacGuffin. There's always a trinket that will just end any conversation right there, you know? Like, oh, we can figure out like a way to get this information. Oh, no, we don't need to. I just got a token that lets me bring dead people back to life.
Going into that scene, I thought that was going to be like really heavy-handed and exhausting. I actually thought it was really funny.
It was good. They didn't exhaust it. It was a fun bit.
Yeah.
And they even called back with the post-credits scene, which was fun. Yeah. Do you think anyone's ever made like an RP like 2023 where you just Dungeons and Dragons rules, but it's like Sims? Like you just live your life as like a human in a human world where corporate America has completely destroyed the will to live, and
You notice that your car turned over one time more than it usually does.
yeah, right.
Do you turn your car off and check it out, or do you get to work because you're going to be late?
Right. Yeah. It's just like, oh, you're gonna. So what do you do then? It's like, oh, I get in my car and start the car, and it's just like roll a perception check, and just like, ooh, that's a 4. Just like everything's great. Yeah. Go ahead, pull out of the driveway. It's like, all right, I'm heading down the freeway. Give me another perception check. 11. Something's wrong. Something's going bad. What do you do? Just like, I guess I pull over. All right, you pull over. Do you call AAA? Yeah, sure. Oh, AAA can't get to you right now. It's actually really busy, like rush hour. So yeah, I guess you're stuck here for a while. What do you do?
Do I have games on my phone?
You do, but the only one that you actually like has an update, and you don't want to use data because you've already used most of your data for this month. So
As you can tell by your beat up car, you don't make very much money.
Yeah, you have to kind of settle for one of the shittier games that you don't really actually like.
I watch porn.
Can you give me a
stealth check on that?
Yes.
Ooh, 4. A cop's driving by, and
He sees you.
he turns around with his lights on.
You forget to desync. You forget to desync your phone to your car's speaker.
Yeah. And you have the windows down because your AC is broken. Oh yeah.
God, I had one more thing I wanted to say about this movie. No, I guess I lost it. Maybe it'll come back. But yeah, you know what? Pretty good. Not bad. Maybe bottom half of 2023 top 10.
Yeah. See it making the list.
I've got to mention last week, but E3 is dead. Maybe probably dead, forever.
Maybe. Yeah. Insert me in front of the grave, like fucking great.
I don't know. I was trying to think about what this meant to me as a gamer. And the only thing I can think of is that, like, I don't know if video games were ever cool, but they definitely aren't now. Like, E3 fundamentally was like a commercial, like one big commercial, but it had origins as like a trade show. And like, originally it was like a place where people in the video games industry would make their pitch, would be like, hey, this is why you should stock our shit. This is why people should care about our shit, because it was new media and weird, and like, you needed to make a pitch to sell this stuff. But now they're ubiquitous, mainstream, for lack of a better word.
People then check their phones every 2 or 3 minutes to see updates on Twitter about game trailers getting released.
Right. Now video games are just normal. They're a part of the noise. So like, we don't really need E3 to be E3 anymore. And like, Summer Games Fest is going to fill that niche. Like, that's probably, if any companies are going to partner with anyone to do video game announcements, it's going to be through that, which, whatever, I imagine a lot of them are going to go the Nintendo route and do independent announcements, but I don't know. It's not the same. I understand for my job, I kind of am a streamer, but I don't care for streamers. And like, yeah, that's more what Summer Games Fest seems to be about than whatever E3 was. So that feels like a step down for me, or that, I don't know. I feel less connected to video games now without E3 as a trade show being around. And therefore, I think video games are not cool anymore, if they ever were.
Yeah, video games ain't never been cool, fam.
Nah.
Nope. They're acceptable. That's it.
What is unacceptable, though, is that Twitter replaced the bird icon with Doge or Dogecoin for April Fools on April 3rd, and only on the desktop version of the app.
And in the middle of Elon Musk currently getting investigated for Dogecoin manipulation.
Which he did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, objectively. Yeah.
yeah.
Gotta love Doge.
Yeah.
To the fucking moon, baby. What does that chart look like? How bad? How bad?
How bad,
Since
like, is Doge, like, the value of it versus what it used to be at, like, the peak?
yeah, it was worth 64 cents briefly when Elon went on SNL, and then it crashed, and it is now worth less than a penny.
Jesus Christ.
My God. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's eight and a
No,
half
it's worth
cents.
8 cents.
Eight,
Oh.
little over 8 cents.
Yeah.
I was thinking one more zero.
You did it, Elon. You inflated that stock once again. You manipulated that market.
It is still higher than it was pre Gold Rush, even now.
Yeah,
Like-
but I think like GameStop definitely is. Did I say GameStop?
Yeah.
GameStop, power to the players. GameStop is at
$22. I know that that's like a huge dip from where it was during the middle of that shit, but like when Lucas sold GameStop, it was like $2, right?
Oh no, when I bought GameStop, it was like $2. I sold it at about 20.
Okay. You sold it 20? Damn.
Oh yeah. No, I'm not mad about that. I've decided I made my money. It's chill. I could have made more money, but I'm not going to be greedy.
What was its peak?
Oh, this is definitely wrong. It's showing the peak
right,
here.
I know it said 80, but I remember it.
But it was
over
definitely
$200 a share.
Yeah, it almost got to 300 at one point for sure.
Yeah, $250 a share. That closed at one day.
That would have been nice.
Think about it, Lucas.
Well, what's AMC at? What's the one that we hopped on board with? AMC's at $5 a share. We got out, baby.
Yeah.
Lucas,
you did not. Lucas,
yeah, no, you can't join this.
You
sold. Look, I sold for exactly what I bought it for, like a day before it like tripled in value, where Ryan sold it. But I still didn't lose money on it. I lost money on Virgin Galactic, which I accidentally bought in a mishappen transaction the next day, which is now worthless.
Yeah, no, I held for a little bit. I think I only made like maybe like $500, $600. I put a lot in though. You guys remember that? I put in way too much on the AMC thing just in case it absolutely exploded. And then it was like, well, there's nothing to do now. I'm just gonna leave it. And then Lucas, you were like, "Oh, I sold," and we were like, "Lucas, you sold it like the lowest possible point, man." Not saying that it was guaranteed, but damn. I was gonna buy more once you said you sold. I thought about it. I was like, but now you could buy it because it was down. It was down to like what, like $7 a share or something after that little peak, and then it popped up to $60 a share. But I think I sold it like 30 or something, and we bought at like 17. So, damn.
Shaquille O'Neal is making the case that he is the most agile NBA player in the history of the game by evading FTX-related court summons for over 4 months.
It's impressive, man.
Right?
Yeah, he's one of the most public figures there is.
For a man his size to be that good at dodging lawsuits, it's unheard of, man. He's a genetic anomaly.
Can you imagine? I have no idea what like this part of the legal system looks like. Can you imagine being
go serve Shaq?
Yeah.
He's gonna break my ankles.
Imagine
on the court. You're gonna cross me over, man. I can't body up Shaq. You kidding me?
Imagine being what is now a member of a team to serve Shaq, and 2, the boss having to deal with his employees coming back every week saying, we couldn't find him.
That is how it would work in the movie, right? It's like, all right, it's your job. Head out, serve Shaq. We've heard he's on the east side or something, and he goes, and it's like a pickup court with a chain link fence, and he's just yamming it on some dude, and then you're just rolling up, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, no, you can serve me, but I'll play you for it." Like, and then just getting just absolutely crossed. Shaq's like hitting step back threes and shit, and it's just like, damn. And then you have to go home and just like, well, I couldn't find him, I guess.
And just imagine being like, where am I gonna find Shaq in this giant city? And it's just a crowd of people with one guy about 4 times taller than everyone else. Like, oh, there he is.
Yeah.
You'd see him a mile away.
Yeah. Shaq definitely is a guy who he's in it for Shaq, man. Like for better or worse. Like Shaq voted for Trump in 2016. Like,
oh yeah,
because it would give him lower taxes. Like, you know, there's he's that guy, and there's it's not necessarily good, but he's in it for Shaq, baby. He is in it for Shaq.
it's also kind of weird how like that's still a relatively archaic element of our legal system, but then also, yeah, I can see the argument being made that if we don't have someone physically giving people court summons, like they're just going to a plausible deniability their way out of ever appearing in court.
Yeah,
we have emergency alert systems that the government has on our, like, they couldn't just send a fucking push notification that doesn't go away until you click like I acknowledge or something. Like,
I'm sorry, I thought they were referring to the Nashville Shaquille O'Neal, not me.
I don't know if that plausible deniability could work with a summons. Like that could work with being served documents. Oh, I thought these documents were for the Nashville Lucas DeRuyter. Like, I don't know. I think that we could do a 21st century edition of this. It's possible. But then we'd lose jobs.
Whoa.
Everyone's favorite.
Pineapple Express would never exist.
No.
Yeah, true.
I forgot that was Seth Rogen's job in that movie. Outside of having sex with a high schooler.
I'm sorry, what? Did I miss that part of that movie?
Yeah. Seth Rogen's dating a high schooler in Pineapple Express.
Shit.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
I thought that was a meme. I thought you were just talking about Scott Pilgrim.
No.
Pineapple Express, Seth Rogen, girlfriend. Amber Heard. Oh my God, it's Amber Heard too.
Holy shit.
18-year-old high school girlfriend. Damn.
Not illegal. Sketchy as hell.
How old is Seth Rogen?
I don't know how old Seth Rogen is in that movie.
What's his character's name? Dale Denton. Dale Denton age 23. Yeah. Oh yeah. Full scum mode. Yeah, no. If you're 19 and you graduated there last year, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
But nah, fam.
Oh,
just scum mode.
How do they even meet without a sketchy situation?
Yeah, pretty much impossible, huh?
Oh.
Wow, but literally straight up Amber Heard playing 2008 Amber Heard. Gotta love it. When did she meet Johnny Depp? Amber Heard, Johnny Depp. She's 36 now. She was 22 then. They met in 2009. They met like a year after this movie. Damn. Here we go.
Wait, if she 1986 2009. Ooh.
Yeah, no, she's 23. She was 22 when she did Pineapple Express. I mean, but that's just like Leo DiCaprio, like classic Hollywood.
Yeah, I guess that's not advanced sketchy. That's just regular sketchy. Okay.
It's just regular bullshit.
Yeah.
And they also didn't start dating until 2012. So at that point, she's 26. It's kind of like, you know,
okay.
Once that brain's fully developed, like it's not going to make me look at the much older person in a positive light necessarily, but it's
The
hard to
cops don't have
say.
to come.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to say that there's anything actually morally bankrupt going on. So,
But the power dynamic,
the whole
movie,
world's a power dynamic, baby.
yeah.
There's no such thing as an equal power dynamic unless you are born the same day with the same upbringing, the same family background, the same job, literally the same job in the same industry, in the same place.
There's no ethical sex under capitalism.
Right. And even that, because yeah, then you have men at an inherent power advantage over women just in as an example of our fucked up patriarchal society. So in reality, the woman would actually have to be like a little elevated above the man for it to be actually level. Yeah, it doesn't really work. There's no ethical sex under capitalism. We love it.
I'm actually dating myself, though I worry this might be though I worry I might be self-sabotaging myself.
Yeah, no, that's fucked up, dude.
Self-sabotaging myself.
Yeah.
That's fucked up, man.
I don't condone.
Yeah, like professionally, I think we can continue, but like I think personally, I'm gonna have to
You and
call
I
it,
are
like,
done.
yeah, personally, yeah, no, like the opposite of Christian Bale. You and me, we're done personally. I can't wait to continue working with you in a professional capacity. You are excellent at your job, and I really want to continue. Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell. Moving into the breakouts, I watched the independent experimental horror film Skinamarink. It's interesting. I'm glad I watched it. I don't think I enjoyed it.
It's not got a great rating for any
Not for
reviewer.
everyone.
I don't know if it's for anyone based on this, based on what I'm seeing from
What are you
reviews and
seeing?
such. Oh, just all the reviews. I guess Rotten Tomatoes has it pretty decent. Not great, but decent. Audiences hate it.
You
How
know,
about that?
you know, it's this kind of movie when the top auto question in a Google search result of the movie's title is, what is the point of Skinamarink?
So is it like a loosely collected like or just a loose like collection of short horror stories? Is that it?
No, one solid, continuous, loose narrative.
Interesting.
There is a plot. It does have a traditional film structure in some sense, but it is just dreadfully slow. There's no explanation for what's going on, really, in a way that is both terrifying but also exasperating. And yeah, it did evoke a sense of terror and dread and unsettling in me. By the entire premise is children are put in a unknowable, dangerous situation, but then, like, I don't know, it seemed like the purpose of doing that was to instill a sense of terror and dread in me because children are in a dangerous situation. And it's like, oh, I don't know, the justification is getting a little cyclical here. That being said, immediately after finishing this movie, which was created by an experimental horror YouTuber, my partner Maria and I watched the Matt Pat film theory explaining what was going on in Skinamarink.
You know, that's the sign of a good movie.
How long is the Matt Pat film theory episode?
Like 18 minutes.
Okay.
Maybe 16 minus the Hello Fresh promo at the end of it. At the end of it.
Gotta hit that.
I disagree with what he thinks is happening there. Although in the course of watching it, he did point out some details I had missed. So I appreciated that. I don't know.
What's the movie trying to say, Lucas? Thematically. Hit us with them themes. You know you love a theme. You love a good theme.
boy, things are terrifying when bad things are happening as a child and you don't even have a sense of objective reality yet and are maybe inventing explanations for why things are happening.
Is that a theme? The theme is childhood is fucked.
I possibly I don't know. This is a slight spoiler, but it's also the conceit of the movie, so I'm comfortable saying it. Like the movie kicks off with like all of the doors and windows into these two kids' home disappearing and they are trapped inside. So I think if not being inspired by some pandemic related stuff, this movie might be a commentary on the psychological processes or damage inflicted by the COVID-19 pandemic onto children. So that's something. But also, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about the rest of it.
I just read the Wikipedia plot of this movie, and what?
Yeah.
I think you need to watch it. Is what it sounds like.
I feel like I don't.
I don't know if Jade is still the same person she was in college, but I feel like college Jade would like this movie.
I feel like she wouldn't.
I've watched experimental horror films with her.
This seems less experimental and more just weird.
I want
The storytelling is experimental for sure. I mean, like I haven't seen the movie, so like but like, are the filmmaking techniques experimental? Because that's the stuff that Jade likes.
yes.
Jade doesn't care for like wobbly plot.
I mean, it's not experimental to the point where like there is no narrative in this film. Like experimental to the point of this film lacks a traditional structure, but it's experimental in how much they commit to this being an analog horror piece. This being just painfully intentionally slow, almost to the point of mundanity, almost to the point of, oh, I'm experiencing like a very bored kind of dread right now. That was new, that was novel, definitely. And I should also note that, like, regardless of my criticisms, this was a film that was made on a budget of $15,000, and like, that's cool. That's cool that I think it's made like 2 mil at least at this point. On what was just a dude who I think crowdfunded it and then shot it in his childhood home. So I kind of want stuff like that, this to exist in the world. So like, I'm glad I saw it. I wish I liked it more in execution than in concept.
There you go.
What are y'all checking out?
Are you guys ever gonna watch Succession?
Probably not.
No, maybe. Although I feel like I'm getting a lot of enjoyment listening to other people talk about Succession. Crazy cousin Connor, I think it was, got married or something.
Connor is a brother. He's the oldest.
Then why
Greg
isn't
is the
he in the
cousin.
Succession?
Because he's they call him the first pancake. Like the first pancake you get is not very good.
Oh,
You kind of gotta like warm it up, like figure. He's kind of he's just ignored.
oh,
He has a different mother than the other siblings,
oh!
so he's significantly older than them, and is not really considered when it comes to anything to do with like the succession of it all.
Wow.
But yeah, no, it was his wedding, and Logan Roy, the patriarch of the whole family, has passed away. He died. They did it.
Oh my God.
So they did it in episode 3 of the last season, just kind of out of nowhere, hidden in an episode titled Connor's Wedding. It's surprising.
How dry is the ink on some of those I'm selling the company to this third party contracts?
Yeah, no, that's all playing into it.
Uh,
But no, genuinely, it was like an emotionally disturbing episode. It was a very realistic depiction of death in the 2020s. Like the distance between all of us, but this instant communication
yeah,
aspect. Like, yeah, like he dies off screen. He doesn't get a death scene. The arguably most important character of the entire show doesn't get a death scene. We get it by from the perspective of the kids getting a phone call from someone who's with him on the private jet that he, collapsed and stopped breathing, and they're
Jesus
performing
Christ.
CPR on him. And yeah, just the reality of that type of situation that, in all honesty, pretty much all of us are gonna face
Yeah,
in our life. Like, when a loved one dies in this time, we're probably going to hear about it
yeah.
before the details are all there. Like, back in the early 1900s, you get a telegram days later after it all happened, kind of explaining everything, or, and maybe, everyone that you loved and cared about, you'd be living right next to.
Right.
Now, yeah, when we're all kind of spread out, I don't know, getting a phone call that's kind of like, hey, your parent is very sick and it doesn't seem like he's going to make it. That's that's an actual reality that we're all going to
Yeah.
face. And so watching, yeah, just a very claustrophobic 27-minute long take. They did a one take of from the minute they get the call to, yeah, when things have kind of like started to become crystallized. And yeah, it's fucking horrifying, man. So
There's nothing they can do. Like
yeah,
they can't even be there. They can't
no,
they
yeah,
can't go anywhere even.
they're
Oh my
struggling
God.
against that. They're trying to throw money at it, like, oh, get the best heart surgeon in the world on the phone in a conference call with his doctor on a conference call with the flight attendant who's performing CPR, and yeah, it's just at the end of the day, he was dead before really any medical attention was given, basically. And yeah,
Yeah.
then you get a confused phone call from someone else there who's trying to hold everything together, but everyone kind of knows what's going down. And then the broader implications of when that person is as they call it, a material aspect of a multinational corporation, like that needs to be disclosed to shareholders
Oh.
and the markets and the future of this multi-billion-dollar corporation being in the balance. Yeah,
So how long can we grieve privately our father's passing before we commit fraud and market manipulation?
exactly. The answer is minutes. Like, and then Kendall, the sort of de facto leader, because he's the quote unquote oldest son, even though, like I said, he's not actually the oldest son, has to, because yeah, at one point Shiv says, like, can we just have them like circle for like 30 minutes so we can like get our bearing, because they're coming back, to land, and Kendall has to literally say, like, guys, what we do on this day will forever be what we did on the day that our father died. Like, this is it, like, we have to, it's a fucking impossible situation, but we have to actually kind of do something here, like, we're going to have to give a statement to the press. We are going to have to, yeah, make this all happen. So it was fucking crazy, man.
Yeah.
And it hit me in a not great way. Like, that,
Oof.
the emotional turmoil of, like, yeah, because, like, it's not like he's a good person in the show. Like, he's a despicable human being.
Right.
He's literally a representation of modern evil. But in how it, like, impacts a human being to have their parent die while they're not with them, and the confusion and kind of horror surrounding that, yeah, it's not great.
I'm lucky. I've been fortunate enough that like every time I've had a close relative or a family friend pass away, there's always been some kind of notice. There's always been some kind of like they're in a medical facility or they're in hospice care. and never. But no, that's only a matter of time because this is a pretty universal human experience. That
Yeah.
Ugh.
We don't have teleportation yet, so like we can't instantly be near this person, but we do have instant communication.
Mhm.
So we are getting instant real-time updates on these
but unable
types
to
of
do anything
situations,
about
but
it.
yeah, completely powerless to affect any of the events going on, and confused as to like what is actually happening, because it's not going to be perfect information necessarily. And yeah, I don't know.
Guys,
It was
this will be
affecting.
forever. This will forever be the day. This will forever be the things we did the day our father died. Send a tweet.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Crying
Everyone,
emoji, but like the laughing crying emoji,
yeah,
like
that like
accidentally,
right,
and
that grandmother's post on Facebook.
yeah,
Just
and then
like
everyone's really confused, and some people
right,
are angry, and no one knows why. And
right. Just found out my sister Dolores passed away at the age of 87, and it's the full background of the laughing crying emoji. Just like it's just like, God damn.
Grandma, I want you to walk me through the thought process of why you thought this was acceptable.
Why you thought this was an
I'm
actual crying
sad. I
emoji.
cried.
With your mouth open and
Yeah.
upturned and it taking
Turned
up
and
the
like
entire background of the
cackling. Yeah.
post.
I don't see
Oh,
so good.
old people Facebook, man.
It used to be cool. Maybe.
Facebook was cool. Facebook was objectively cool, man. Back in the late aughts,
Oh,
it was the place to be.
fuck yeah. The premiere of the new Makoto Shinkai film Susume was a place to be. I'm glad I went there. It's a cool thing I can do because of my job, because of the place I live. Yeah, I don't know. 14-year-old me would think it'd be wicked sick that I'm getting to go to stuff like this. The movie was pretty meh.
Yeah. But that's how it works, right? Like
Right.
you're not going to get invited to the hot ticket,
Right.
fucking unbelievable. Like every early review is like, this movie is going to rock your fucking world. You're not getting that. You're getting the, oh wow, we really need to fill out this fucking theater, man. Like let's. I got invited to, God, what was that fucking horrible sci-fi movie? It starred like kids. Was it Artemis or some shit like that? What was that movie? God damn, I need to find it.
Do you remember what year?
I mean, it would have been, yeah, like 2018, 2019, probably 2018, honestly. Maybe even 2017.
What was it about?
This was like science, like space. They had no charisma. I've read all the reviews, and they were all just horrifying. Like they were all just really bad. God damn. I need to. I'll find it. But yeah, no, I mean, it's not great.
Also the caveat there is that like I cannot think of an anime film that's like 10 out of 10 blockbuster. Critics agree this is the best of that lot. I don't know, maybe I'll be able to go to a Ghibli movie premiere, like possibly the last time Miyazaki
What about Red Line? That was
I
10
like
out
that
of 10,
movie.
right, Lucas?
That came out in like 2013 though. That's not like
yeah, if you got invited to the premiere of Red Line, you wouldn't be blown away. This is a 10 out of 10 perfect
that'd be
movie.
dope shit. Yeah. I'd enjoy that.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know how much I can say about the film other than like it was a very wholesome movie. Like there wasn't even a villain really other than like the embodiment of natural disasters, and the movie itself was kind of a processing of the I think it was the 2011 Japanese earthquake that led to a nuclear plant. I forget the exact term, but it became dangerous and made the surrounding region unlivable, and there was a potential collapse detonation there. I just don't think I like Makoto Shinkai films, unfortunately. Yeah. Glad
There
I
you go.
went. Probably had like 20, 25, 30 $30 worth of free drinks. That was neat.
There you go. It was by the way, it was Valerian and the City of a Thousand
Oh
Planets.
shit. I do
I
remember seeing
remember
commercials for that.
with Timothy Chalamet.
No,
No.
No?
Dane DeHaan, who
Oh,
I guess maybe Cara Delevingne also.
Ooh. What a
Yeah.
cast.
Yeah, I think Rihanna was in it too. Yeah, Rihanna was
oh,
in it.
that's the one where everyone was defending it by like, well, it's a French movie, so of course it wouldn't make sense to Americans.
It's Luc Besson, who, by the way, got accused by one of the actresses on this movie of rape.
Well,
So
yeah, he's French.
on this movie, I'm glad I passed on that one
Oh,
because yikes, that would be a memory. So there you go.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, don't go to every premiere apparently,
Uh,
Lucas. That's what you learn in LA. You don't go to every premiere that you're offered.
yeah, fair. But I know people who didn't go to the previous premiere I went to, and then maybe they didn't get an invite to this one because of that. So I don't know.
Hmm. Did you have to actually make a cameo? Like, did you have to actually like hobnob with the people who were inviting you, or did you not even like see anyone really?
I saw a couple people. I don't think I networked too much. I guess the biggest name that like I recognized is somebody I had talked to previously at Crunchyroll Expo. Uh, but I already had the exchange of the first time talking to her, she was plastered. So then the following time talking to her, she did not recognize me. And I was like, I don't know if I can emotionally take not being remembered.
It's state-based memory though, so if
Right.
she's drunk again, then she'll remember you again. Also, she's not going to listen to this, right?
No, probably not.
Probably not. That's not good enough,
Yeah.
Lucas.
I don't.
Probably
She
not is
might.
not good
We
enough when
haven't
you're
dropped
saying
a name. She might, if she doesn't remember me and is listening to this sober, she won't know that we're talking about her.
she doesn't know who you are, but she does listen to the podcast Stone Sober on her commute.
Selective amnesia, a
Yeah,
writer's dream.
right. I mean, really, you were just being fucking like hardcore curbed. Like you were getting the full social blow off. Just like, I don't remember you at all. Like walks away. just
I
like,
possibly,
yeah.
but maybe yeah. This is making it even more of a curb moment. I ran into her again for a flight. We were on the same flight back to Los Angeles. So then to
God
get the
damn.
I don't remember you because I was too drunk would have been advanced. Yeah.
That is advanced
Ugh.
and possible. Plausible
Andrew,
even.
you are advancing through Resident Evil 1.
Um, yeah.
Uh,
I mean, yeah, we are advancing. We think we're almost done with it, but we've also thought we were almost done with it for a while. Again, we do have a really fun time playing this game, and we've talked about it before. It's unlike any game we've ever played. The structure of how the puzzles and like the order you have to do shit in this game is so unbelievably asinine that I don't know if like in the late 90s this just was what games were like and it made sense, and if you played these kinds of games you were able to handle it fine, but I could not for the life of me understand the kind of person that would know what to do next
right.
without a guide saying and then go do this thing, because none of it is connected in a way that makes any sort of sense. It's fucking ridiculous.
Is it like the kind of thing where, well, we got to make sure people have their money's worth, get a lot of time out of this, so it's just going to be obtuse, and they're going to stumble through it until they happen upon where they need to be for the next thing?
No, there's no stumbling upon anything. Like you have to go into specific places and look in specific drawers that are in specific rooms that in order to get into, you have to have already done 30 steps. It's kind of crazy.
You kill that giant spider yet?
Yeah, we
Okay.
did. Again, we're playing on easy mode, so the combat
Okay.
is like super, like chill. Like it's not hard, but like we did that because if there was any sort of struggle with the combat and we would die and lose an hour worth of bullshit progress, it would have been kind of heartbreaking.
Very fair.
Again, we're really liking it. We're excited to play Resident Evil 2 remake once we're done with this, so that we can then finally play Resident Evil 4 remake and understand who Leon Kennedy is.
I'm very curious about your reaction to Resident Evil 2, because it's my understanding that so Resident Evil 4 is probably the best one, but Resident Evil 2 is
It's
the
like the
favorite
cult classic.
one. Yeah.
And also, like, these are remakes. Like, we'll never experience the mindset that these people were in when these games came out that made them so special. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to enjoying a game that was made this decade.
You don't valid. You don't feel transported back to 1996 playing the Resident Evil 1 remake?
I mean, I was a year old at that point. I don't know what that was like.
Fair. Wait, when did OG Resident Evil 2 come out? 1998. Okay. Wait, so Resident Evil 1 was like early PlayStation 1 then?
Resident Evil 1 was a PC game.
What?
Yeah, I think that's what it released on.
Resident Evil 1 release developed by Capcom
for
the PlayStation. It came out on PlayStation. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And when did... Okay, US, it came out in 95. Japan, late 94. It's still pretty early.
Also, I will say, like, this is Resident Evil HD.
Right.
This is a remaster of the original game. It is pretty good looking. Part of it's because like the game isn't rendering anything. The background is literally like photographs that have been bent to be three-dimensional essentially. It looks pretty fucking good for a game that like came out in like 2004. I think is when they remade it for like modern settings, some shit like that. But yeah, it's like looking at some of the OG PlayStation screenshots, it's pretty bad looking.
But it's so evocative. All right, very cool. Let us know when you get through that, and let us know when you start Resident Evil 2, please. I finished Fire Emblem Engage, finally. A little long in the tooth and not quite as mechanically clever as it thought it was, but yeah, still maybe my second or third favorite Fire Emblem game. Glad I played it. Also, I'm rewatching The Venture Bros with Maria, who has never seen it before, in preparation for the film TV special. We are like 3 episodes shy of finishing the first season. There are a lot more piss jokes in this than I remember. Like, first 8 episodes, there's like 1 an episode. I forgot about that.
Why so many piss jokes?
I don't know, because like it's kind of a parody. It's kind of making fun of like pulpy Johnny Quest style cartoons from the 70s and 80s. So they can't piss in that. Let's have them piss in the Venture Brothers. But yeah, that definitely goes away, and I'm looking forward to that going away. And then
looking forward to the piss going away.
Looking forward to the piss going away. Them taking the piss out of the Venture Brothers.
It's the Pro ZD classic short where it's just like introducing an anime to a friend, and it's like, this guy sucks, and he's just like, no, he gets better, and he's just like, oh, I'm peeing on myself. I'm so scared. I'm peeing and pooping my pants, and it's just like he gets better, like
in like 23 episodes. Just give it time.
It's like, this dude sucks. Like, yeah.
He's referencing Demon Slayer in that, and I would make
Oh,
the
really?
argument that no, Zenitsu does not get better.
Damn. You know the reference too.
He goes from being terrible to being bad. That's not.
I'm glad
That's not.
when I rewatched Game of Thrones with Angel, I was glad that the they ruined Jamie Lannister again because it didn't have the same impact on me when she just fucking hated Jamie Lannister. And
Yeah.
but like at one point in like season 5, I was like, Jamie Lannister, I think is the most interesting dynamic character of the whole show. Like he genuinely had a redemption arc that was earned, and he is now a true neutral character from like the definition of evil. And I think it would have hurt me a little more if they would have actually nailed that and continued his true neutral arc. But yeah, no, they just ruined him again, and so it didn't matter to me. I was like, yeah, I guess he does kind of suck. I don't know. Cool. I couldn't care less about this.
And then I guess the only interesting thing I have to point out about this Venture Bros rewatch so far is that seeing the things that, like, it's not totally clear with this show because 7 seasons, there are 7 seasons of the Venture Brothers that were written over the course of, I think, 20 years. It's not totally clear what's a callback and what was them setting stuff up the entire time. And like, it's fun for me to mentally be like, wait, this thing on the spaceship, did they actually like intend for this thing to go the direction it inevitably went? I think so. Versus like, oh, them finding Grover Cleveland's time machine is like a throwaway line in one episode that comes into play 20 years later in season 7. So that's fun for me.
If you rewatch the fucking pilot of Futurama, you got fucking Nibbler, like Nibbler's shadow. Like I don't know that they were setting up the actual
or
like,
if they just
story
thought,
that
put
they
a little
thought
thing
of.
there and
yeah, let's put a little
thing
thing and we'll figure it out later. Who knows? But like, damn, like that is some preparation, man. I don't know how you do that as a writer. You're just like, I know at some point we'll talk about this, so let's put something in there and figure it out.
Hear me out on this one. We put a shadow there that foreshadows this weird Boston Terrier alien thing we introduce later that's actually super smart and trying to save the universe.
Yeah.
It'll work out. Trust me. Please approve this pilot.
Right. Yeah. They have the full pitch and everything. And the network execs are like, you realize this has not gotten a series order, right? Like we thank you for the pilot. I don't know that we're going forward with this necessarily. And you have seems like a multi-season arc about
you got
this.
A lot of lore in there.
Yeah. I really hope you didn't waste your time. It's really on the bubble. We're not sure we're going to pick it up.
No, but hear me out. Like down the line, I have this revolutionary idea of branching seasons. So what I need you to do, there's going to be a season 5A and a season 5B, both half-length orders, but telling diverging plot lines. And they're airing simultaneously, of course. So I need you to block out a full hour of Thursday night prime time to air these two conflicting narratives back to back. Please approve this pilot.
Green light, absolutely. 22 episodes, 5-season order.
I'm Matt Groening. I made The Simpsons.
That's what actually happened.
Yeah.
Same with Disenchantment or whatever the fuck. I did The Simpsons that one time, motherfucker.
Dude, what are you gonna do?
You better highlight or greenlight my fucking shitty, like just whatever show.
They're still making that, right? Like,
no, I think it got officially canceled.
Season.
I thought it got officially canceled. Which one?
Disenchantment,
the Netflix one.
Oh yeah, it got 3 seasons, right?
4, like I think.
4.
Yeah, 4. A renewal looks unlikely.
That's a lot of seasons for a show.
No, season 4 came out in 2022, though.
No, there you go.
Yeah.
So it's been over a year and there's been no word. So probably dead.
Oh, wait, they do the weird thing where they're like 10 episode orders, but like that's only half of one. All right. Whatever, Disenchantment.
I'm out.
Whatever. And I think we are just about out of material for episode 220 of the Voluntary Viewing podcast, which will almost certainly be titled Jesus versus Zeus, Tomb of Doom. If you like what you heard, like, comment, subscribe, etc. Check us out on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok for highlight clips. ActBlue link in the description. Support us on the Spotify podcast platform, I guess, or our Patreon, where you can join the likes of the terrific Tiffany Cole, Sucky Badger, and sensual Richard Nixon. Send us your questions, business opportunities, voluntaryviewing@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter @V2_podcast for updates. Follow me @LucasDeRider on Twitter to keep up with all of my writing and everything I have going on, which includes an interview with anime historian and anime herald EIC Samantha Faria later this week. That is happening Thursday afternoon Pacific time if you want to tune into that and learn some history, learn some anime. Is it too late to title this episode Learn Some Anime? Probably. Okay. Bye. Have a great week. Bye.